So I know that the word on the streets is that usually September is the worst month for the S&P 500, and we also see a lot of times a little bit of a sell-off when it comes to crypto, especially we're coming back to the S&P 500 when if August is bullish, bearish is historically bearish. Now this is what we've seen now, which was usually this is what's happening to the S&P, and usually we see a sell-off in September in Bitcoin as well. But a couple of times, only 4 times in the past 12 years, we've seen both August and September bearish. So there are 5 reasons why I believe you have to buy crypto today. Obviously nothing is financial advice, but I'm going to share with you why I'm looking at what I'm buying and why I'm actually deploying capital today. I'll give you 5 reasons. If that sounds good, smash the like button and let's get going with the show. So number 1 is that usually September has marked the bottom in bull markets. So even though that, again, we can look back at this chart and we can say, okay, but Fefe, like a lot of times, majority of the times, September, the average is -3 and the median is also -3%. So you can look at it and be like, you know, usually September is bearish for crypto. But if you look at the actual numbers, September is not always bearish when August was bearish. So if you look here, for example, we can go back all the way. I don't really want to go back all the way down here because this part doesn't really matter. But 2016 is already, you know, the halving year. And on the halving year, August was bearish, September was bullish. In 2017, August was bullish and September was bearish. 2018 and 19, bear market. Both August and September was bearish. But if you look here and you see that only 4 times you have seen both August and September bearish, you might be thinking that this time could be different, and it is different. So number one thing is that September usually marks the bottom when it comes to bull markets. As you see down here, 2017, September, a little bit of sell-off, that marked the bottom. You see here exactly 2020, same situation, and 2021, even a massive bounce up here to where it's up. So the question is this time going to be different? Then I met Dan in the Netherlands on the Grand Prix, and we're discussing, and he actually had this tweet yesterday that read that usually historically you can see that the first 12 months is deciding or marks the bottom, especially when it comes to the bull market. So 80% of the time within the first 12 days of September we do have the bottom. So why do I think this was the reason number 1 that historically it is good? But if you think back to this, let me just bring this up here for a second. Let me just open this up here for me. If you look at it, historically Q4 after halving years has always been bullish. So not only that it was September that was the bottom most of these times, but Q4 in general was extremely bullish. So if you look here, in medium is 23% on average and 22.5% on medium. And if you look here also 2021 after halving year, bullish. You look here 2017 after halving year, look here 2021 after halving year, bullish. 2017 after halving year, bullish. So Q4 not only for Ethereum but also for Bitcoin, the same thing. 2021 bullish, 2017 bullish. So if you look at the charts, they tell the exact same story. So if you look at Bitcoin after the halving, right, from October rallied all the way 1200%. September bottom, so it's October 1st, rallied 366%. And in 2021, same situation, September marking the bottom, rally 60%. So that's the reason number 2. Usually not only Q4, but September marks the bottom, and then the Q4 rally is substantial. Whether it's, obviously I'm not expecting 1200% from Bitcoin now, as we have seen it back in 2017. Or, yeah, I would expect this 366%, or rather like 160, sorry, I'm not expecting 366. Some of the odds I do think will do 3x, but Bitcoin, I would expect the 60-70% that we have seen in 2021 as well. And as I've said, this is going to be reason number 3, which is the charts say the same thing. So I posted here, you know that I have this Telegram, it's free, and I posted my thoughts there, and I said elevator up, stairs down. So what happens is that we do have a massive elevator up on the daily chart. You can't really ignore this. A lot of times, if you follow my content, you know that elevator means you always want to be in the elevator. Elevator is impulsive, almost straightforward movements to one direction. So you see here a massive elevator up and staircase down, meaning the price is not coming down with an elevator, but it's chopping down on a staircase. Every single time when you have seen this pattern, we have a massive push. You can look at it from December, last year December, all the way down here to March. Elevator up, Let me just zoom out here. Elevator up, stairs down, elevator up. Same here in lower time frame. Stairs down, elevator up. Stairs down, elevator up. Stairs down, elevator up. So you can see that it is going to be most likely, as far as we can see, an elevator up. Not only that, but if you look at the chart, let me just go back here. If you look at the chart on the lower time frame, or even in a higher time frame, you come into a massive daily demand zone. So when you touch onto demand zones like this, that caused a major pump on the market, you have to think and you have to start allocating at these demand zones. These come rarely. Like, you don't really see them often. If you look back here, this was not a daily demand zone, but it was a 50% leg up here. So if you look at this, when we were down here, I said that this is a major, not only a major breaker block because of these highs, but also a 50% retrace. We were massively buying here. The same situation I'm telling you now, we're coming down to a onto a daily demand zone, and we are going to see a bounce here, in my opinion. That's reason number 3. And here's number 4, rate cuts. So we do have the rate cuts confirmed. And I know in the long run, and this is what a lot of people don't realize, on the long run, rate cuts are not bullish. Why? Because people realize why they're cutting, the economy is broken, their money is going to be diluted, they're going to pay $1 trillion. So in the long run, rate cuts won't be bullish. But the news and the first cut that we've seen will be extremely bullish. So as JP said on Jackson Hole, shifting balance of risk may warrant adjusting our policy stance. Now that may is there because he's JP and he would, he couldn't just say we will cut rates. But the market is pricing in a 90% probability for a rate cut on the 17th. It's going to happen 2 weeks from now. And if you remember back what happened in 2024 when they cut, the one cut that they made just before the elections in October, we did have an 83% pump on the Bitcoin from there. Now, of course, I understand Trump became a president there, so it's not only the cut, but this is a significant increase, and even the S&P increased like 9%. And again, I acknowledge the fact that it's not just the cut, but the cut was a crucial moment at the beginning to kickstart the rally. So that's number 4. And then lastly, one of the most important things that I believe is there is that we have a completely different framework that we had previously. So it's not only that we have the ETFs and whatnot, but also we fuel these Q4 rally that we usually have and everybody's usually anticipating with a lot of clarity, a lot of regulatory clarity coming in this month. One of them is obviously we know that there was the Genius Act passed, and we know that President Trump said that he's going to be the crypto president on the planet. We do have the CFTC coming out. This is one of the main things that I want to talk about now. CFTC coming out with the clarification that any non-US crypto exchanges can simply come in, apply for a much lower standard regulatory group, which is the FBOT. I talked about this on the show here. If you're not following the channel, then subscribe. But we talked about this on one of the shows last week, which was about the fact that they don't have to go through all the regulatory processes that a US crypto-based exchange should go. And that means that there will be potentially an interest, or in the next 2-3 weeks, we can potentially see non-US based crypto exchanges moving into the US. So this is a big one. But also, we do have Paul Atkins, who is leading the SEC in a complete different direction that we've seen so far. So not only that they have the roundtables and they're discussing with the crypto task force, and now they're going on a road tour, but also they are pushing forward and supporting legislations. Going towards legislations, one of the last or the big legislation that everybody is waiting for is the Clarity Act. So the Genius Act has been passed, which is the stablecoin registration in the United States. How can stablecoin be issued, custodied, all of that stuff. And we do have another big bill, which is the Clarity Bill. Now, there are speculation that the Clarity Bill, which is actually about giving clarity on everything crypto, how can a token be issued, how can an investor invest, how can an exchange operate, or how can an ICO launch, like all that stuff was included in the Clarity Act. The Clarity Act could have a vote as early as the 19th of this month. Now, if that passes, I don't even have to explain to you how big that could actually be. So that could be an added fire added fuel to the fire for the September rally. This is what we talked about: delivers regulatory certainty, protects consumers, fuels US innovation, and reinforces American leadership in global finance. So these are the 5 reasons that I do believe will will most likely contribute to a major pump. Again, one of them being September is usually marking the bottom. 2, we're in the bull market. Q4 has always been bullish and it always started with September. Number 3, the chart. The chart is actually telling us that there is a daily demand zone being met. 4, being that the rate cuts are happening. They are going to happen this month. And 5 is regulatory clarity that is not only happening already, there is a massive vote potentially happening on the 19th, as early as the 19th on the Clarity Act. If not, it gets pushed out to October, but this is going to add to the Q4 rally that we're talking about. Let's talk about the chat here for a second, guys. Like the show if you are here. I would appreciate that. I haven't been here for quite some time. I visited Ren in Cape Town on his 50th birthday. Then I went to the F1 in Amsterdam, and now I'm back here. So I would appreciate if you just come in here and like the show, let me know what's happening. Time for JP to take the elevator out of here. I agree, but hopefully that elevator is going up. It doesn't be sent down to the basement. Which L1 to add more in the buy zone? Sui, Sol, Otter. So yeah, I mean anything that you believe have future. Of course, I would add Ethereum, I'd add Sol. I'm sharing all this, by the way. I mentioned that I have this Telegram. It's free. It's completely free. There's a link in the description. You can check it out. Say again? It's pinned. Cause pin the Telegram here. It's free. I just share my thoughts. I share a lot of updates there. So where's joining? Okay. I want to talk about a couple of other things that I think it's relevant. We're gonna talk about them in a second. I also wanted to tell you one thing, which is, let me just bring this up here. Let me just show this. I wanted to tell you one thing, which is our partner BitGet. First of all, big ass shout out to BitGet. Love BitGet. They're a great exchange, licensed exchange, so you can actually trade. You can have your company on there. They have KYC, but they are regulated. We have been working with them for a long time. They're also on school, and they're pretty cool. A lot of pairs, a lot of course, asset regulation, reserve assets, all that. And they run a campaign for us, I think, for another few days. The reason why I wanted to bring them here as well is because if you deposit $100, they're going to give you a $100 trading bonus. If you deposit $500, they're going to give you $500 trading bonus. If you deposit $5,000, they're going to give you a $1,000 trading bonus. So again, this is something I always say that you would be an idiot missing, in my opinion. You can just go down in the description, sign up using the link below down here. And if you do that and deposit the amounts that I talked about, they are going to get allocated for you. If that sounds good, we're saying hi, Fefe from Leon. That's actually kind of shame that I don't know how to pronounce it. Pangu morning, guys and girls. Pangu morning. Stars are always good for health. I agree. Not all comments are showing off FS screen. I don't know why that is. Pangu to the moon. Yes, I agree. All right. So that said, I have some things that I really want to talk about. One of them being this 𝗪𝗘𝗙𝗪 screw up, okay? Because I know a lot of you want to know about it, and I'll be honest with you, I took some time off, and I didn't really monitor this whole shit show. I knew it was launching yesterday, but TLDR, 𝗪𝗘𝗪 is Trump Juniors and the Trump family's project, okay? They're creating a Web3 ecosystem. They launched their USD1, which is their stable coin. So it's like a whole Web3 movement into extraction from the Trump family. No, but half joke, but half truth. So they are milking it as much as they can. And the 𝗪𝗘𝗪 token, which I unfortunately passed on because we couldn't buy it. It only was accredited investors that could actually get involved. But it's probably like a 13-15x up by that time. So if you have bought the pre-sale, you've done pretty well. But it got launched on spot major exchanges yesterday. Now, there was a lot of discussions on, it's gonna be 3% circulating supply at start and whatever, and then 97% is to be determined. There was no publication, no explanation, until there was a Medium article that came about from 𝗪𝗘𝗪 explaining exactly what it's going to be like. And so they said that there's about, let me just go, it's a 20, let me just pull this up here. I think the unlock was 25%, exactly. So the unlock at TG is 25%, and the money, or that 25%, people expected 3%, and now it's 25%, but it's not as bad, and I'll show you why. So the 25% goes to 4 major entities or 4 areas, right? One is about 10 billion tokens. About 1%, it's about 10%, goes to unlock the ecosystem portion for 𝗪𝗘𝗪. Now, if you think that these guys are gonna sell, then yes, it's a bad news, right? Because then it's a bad news. But I don't think they don't need the money. They traded on hyperliquid. They did all this stuff. They don't need to sell openly this. So I'm not a concern. Second, goes about 7.5% go allocated for 𝗙𝗫 Corporation, which would hold 8% of total 𝗪𝗘𝗪 supply as part of his treasury. Okay. So this could be a problem, but they got it at almost the same price. So this company, if you haven't heard about it, which I haven't heard about either, is advised by Trump Jr. So they are in the nitty-gritty. Where do I see that? About leadership and governance. You go down here, scroll, and it's here. Eric Trump, director. So the guy is here, and they are owning 8%. So they're, again, when I said extraction, this is what I kind of meant. So they are owning about 8% of the total supply. So they get unlocked. Again, same situation. I don't think that they need to sell here. So I'm not worried about this sell supply. Designated for liquidity and market making purposes. Again, I'm not worried. Why? Because this is not a problem. This is market making and liquidity. So this is normal marketing and liquidity. I'm not worried about this as well. It's about 2.3%, 2.8%. Not worried. The only sale pressure that I actually see is this 4 billion tokens, which is allocated to the public sale participants representing their initial 20% unlock at launch. So when you invest in a project early stage or when you do a pre-sale, you get an unlock at 𝗙𝗔𝗙, which is, in this case, 20%. So this 4% that is unlocked is basically the only supply that I see hitting the market, which is not worrying at all, to be very honest, especially because there is 3% for liquidity and marketing purposes. So I'm not worried about this 4% at all. The guys are completely packed. They know exactly what they're doing, in my opinion. So I'm not worried about the sales supply at all, even though a lot of people are. Talking about the holders, though, and who is holding and whatnot, just an interesting fact that I want to throw in here. Justin's son owns about $178 million worth of WLFI tokens, which is not unlocked at this stage. It's locked, but he no, hold on a second. This is the unlock, right? This is the unlock. 178 million is the unlock, but he holds $891 million worth of WLFI tokens. He's a massive holders, which was expected. I mean, the guy bought a banana that was taped to a wall. Like, why wouldn't he buy a thin token from the Trump family? I think, honestly, my thoughts is, like, genuinely, is that this can really fly until the end of the presidency or until the major bull market. And then it will be a massive short. I mean, yeah, you just gotta be prepared for it. We represent that 100% fee. So this is interesting. Everybody's jumping onto this bandwagon that, high flywheel, which is good. Again, it's great, saying that there will be 100%. There's a proposal from the WLFI team that there will be 100% fees buyback. So 100% of the fees earned by the WLFI protocol owned liquidity pool will be used to buy back and burn WLFI tokens. So again, this is a flywheel that they are creating, which is going to be great. Some random news I wanted to bring here. You probably have seen this, but gold hit another all-time high, $3.5 thousand. Strategy is going to be added to the S&P 500. Possibly even Friday, so we have to see, but this is a massive win for the industry in general. Trump is going to speak very soon today. We don't know what he's speaking about. There's speculation about health, about, is he still alive or not? And let me put this very straight and blunt. If he dies, that's it, guys. Like, I'm pulling the plug. If Trump dies, I mean, even if Trump dies, like, obviously we'll shook the market, but JD Vance, who's the vice president, is going to take office then, so which should be great. But if anything happens to these folks, I think the thing is done. And then one more news I wanted to talk about. I got literally 5 people DMing me about this thing. So 𝗪𝗡𝗪, if you're not familiar with Zach, he's doing all kinds of investigations. Scam survivor turned 2D investigator. So he's basically doing a lot of investigations, and he published a sheet of KOLs that took influencers that took a bunch of deals and didn't disclose it, or he says 160 accounts who accepted the deal. I only saw 5 accounts disclose it. Price sheet of 200 plus crypto influencers and their wallet addresses from a project they were recently contacted by to promote. Now, what is interesting, I wanted to tell you a couple of things because I saw a lot of people DMing me about it. One, as you can see on the list, I'm not on the list. None of the beta hosts are on the list. Reputation is everything for me. So a lot of people DM me and they're like, they're happy that they didn't see me on the list and whatnot. It's pretty awesome. I want to say a couple of things. One is, we don't know if Zach is correct here, okay? Because I have been on many lists, which are not like this, but just someone sent me and they wanted to blackmail me, and I was like, go ahead, bro, I have nothing to hide. 1, 2, this is not my wallet. So we don't know if these wallets are actually linked to these guys, but Zach doesn't really put out stuff that is not that accurate. And 2, reputation is everything in the world. So whenever I can guarantee you that whatever I ever invest in, whatever I do and I tell you about, I will disclose it, always. So I always say that they are partners, they are sponsors. I always say I personally invested in. I just wanted to put this out there because a lot of people DM me about this list as well. I just wanted to bring in here. So that said, that's someone said not showing up, but it is showing up. It is showing up. Pangu to the moon. I agree. What did you link here, cuz? The YouTube channel? Okay, nice. Good, so go and check out the daily update. I'm going to talk about it in a second as well. But I want to tell you, so I always tell you if I invest in something, and I did invest in something, which I'm pretty excited about. It's called DeFi app, okay? What they're doing, they're the everything app in Web3. So my biggest problem when it comes to Web3 is super simple. You have to open a wallet. You don't understand what you're doing. You have to have the 𝗬𝗏𝗪s. You have Nana here who doesn't know what she has to do. And then it's just difficult. You have to wire the 𝗬𝗏𝗪s down. You have to all that stuff to self-custody. Now, the guys at DeFi app, they are a self-boosted team. They basically pre-financed everything themselves and they based something absolutely incredible. It looks like this. This is their wallet where you can get in. You can do cross-chain bridges, cross-chain transactions, everything in DeFi by simply using your Gmail as a login. At first, obviously, you got to secure your wallet and make sure that the security is up to the standards that you need to follow as well. But in general, it's very easy onboarding, extremely fast and convenient swaps, and it's almost free. Like, there is almost no fees because of the infrastructure they created. The reason why I'm telling you is because not only because I invested and I think it's pretty cool, but also because they have a massive airdrop coming. 1 billion home token will be airdropped. The way it works is very, very simple. I'm gonna post all this actually, by the way, in the Telegram. So if you're not in the Telegram, there's a link in the description because it's also going to pin it here. Go and join in the Telegram and not only share all my thoughts and everything that is happening, all my trades you can follow, but I'm sharing you all the thoughts as well. I'm gonna post that in there. But I do think this is something that you should participate. This is something like using a Phantom wallet on steroids, and you can get an access to the airdrop by just simply using the wallet. It's pretty simple, and you can get 300% up if you stake the home token. So they have this token called home, and you can get up to 300% on your thing. And I do think this is pretty cool. I'm gonna post it in the group, and you'll be able to see that. Guys, I think that is it. Trump was playing golf over the weekend. His health is fine. Hopefully, he managed to buy WLFI on Hyperliquid video at pre-sale about 10 days ago. Oh, good job, bro. Good job, Mike. Good job. Hold. I'm holding, bro. I'm holding. I told you in the channel as well. I'm layering into WLFI. I think it's gonna be extreme. Ondo, amazing event tomorrow. Yeah, Fefe Show was Amsterdam. Hi, it was good. It's audible in UAE. Let's go token analysis. I did. So guys, here's how it works. Obviously, I can't do everything all at once. So here's what we did. I put up a show onto the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Club today morning. This is my channel there. I post my daily updates. It's very short form content, literally 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes. This is a 7-minute video explaining exactly what the market does. I do them every single day. They are not edited. They are not whatever. It is just literally my thoughts. I've been trading since 2016, 2018. So you can join there because it's going to pin it up here. So you'll be able to subscribe, but also we're going to put up here on the egg screen. Guys, thank you so much for spending time with me. I truly appreciate you. Come back for another one. Don't forget to check this out to know exactly what I'm trading, how I'm trading. Click here to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care.